Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and I do daily Football Manager content, so if you're not already, make sure you subscribe, ring the bell so I upload new videos, and of course hit thumbs up if you find this one useful. We are going to be looking at training today, how to set up training, and it's something that is, you can get really in-depth into it, or you can just sort of do a few basic things and sort of let your coaching staff take over from there. So this is the training screen here, obviously. Now, if you let's go through everything here. So if you click on training calendar, then this is going to bring up the calendar. Now, I am mid-season right now with Chelsea. This is during the beta time, so things obviously may change between now and when you see this. But yeah, so let's click over to March here. From March to April, and you can see we've got our fixtures coming up here towards the end of the year and the training that we're currently doing. Now, one thing I think you will want to do is post-game, you could the day after you play a game, if you go to match prep, you can do a match review. I don't know why it doesn't do it automatically, but you need to manually go in and do it. It's really annoying, but you do need to manually go in and change that if you are just using the default training schedules. So these are the default training schedules. Now, if you're in preseason, you can do preseason ones. There's the tactical ones for depending on if there's a tactical style you want to train. There's the scenario, there's a big match one, so if you have a cup final coming up, this is sort of the default one for that. And sometimes there's a full week of rest option as well, and then there's the training styles, which this is the one that I typically tend to use more. So depending on what it is you want to train, then this is what you would do. Now, the reason I'd like to do it this way is that because if we're defending like crap, then we can train defending. If we're not holding onto the ball the way I'd like, then we can train possession. I just find it a little bit more sort of guided. You can train a specific part of the team's game rather than sort of a style of play in general. But it just depends personal, your own personal choice. Preseason, I don't like to use the default ones. I'll show you what it is there. It's just very like nothing. I don't know. Like I find at the start of preseason, then training style. Where is it here? Physical. That's, to me, that's as good as that's getting fitness levels up. You play friendlies. That gets your match sharpness up. And I'd rather spend preseason working on the different types of whether it be defense, technical play, wing plays. That's more of a style than a training style, a tactical style. Sorry. But I'd rather do that in preseason than anything else. So yeah, I mean, it comes down to your own personal what you want to do. But yeah, that's for me. I would rather not particularly use the preseason ones at all. Now you can go in and you can change each individual one for whatever it is you want to do. That was the one thing. Sorry, I did want to say about preseason. And where you can, if you go to extracurricular activities, team bonding will help the team become more of a team, and community outreach will help you sort of bond with the local community. In theory, it helps you get crowds in. You build that connection with the local community, and like people want to come and watch you. I don't know how. What's the word? I don't know how useful it is, if it actually does work or not, but I usually just throw it in there anyway. And in pre-season I'll do community outreach, then team bonding on a Sunday, and yeah, that's a good way to, in theory, get the community excited for the upcoming season and get the team actually bonding as a team as well. Now you can get an idea too of what you need to train. At the top here, you can see it's got your tactics that you're training, and then the familiarity with that tactic. Now, if you're passing, it's going to come back for me there. If your passing style wasn't fluid, if there was something there that was sort of glaring that that's not quite working, then you can use that to then train and try and help you improve on that sort of style of things that you're looking to do. So you can see there the other tactic as well, though to be honest my two tactics they are quite similar. So that's calendar. If we go now and have a look at schedules, I don't actually have a schedule. Oh, so this is so this is if you want to create a custom schedule. This is how you would go and do it, and then you would be able to sort of add that in when you if and when you needed to. And then once you've created it, save as, and then it'll be there for you to sort of just drop into the calendar on this particular screen here. So the next thing to show you is the units here. Now, it's fairly self-explanatory. Goalkeepers, obviously in the goalkeeping unit, defensive players in the defensive unit, attacking players in the attacking unit. Now, one thing that you might want to do is get some youth players that are fairly high potential training with the first team. Now, if you wanted to do that, the way you would do it is you would go in here to add youth or reserve team players. You would go in here and we would add, let's see if we've got, I think this guy's is a promising defender, and so you would just drop him into the defensive unit, and he's now training with the first team, even though he's still in the under-21 squad. So that's a good way to just sort of, I guess, introduce the young talent coming through into first team training, and it should benefit them obviously to be doing that. Now, the other thing to look at here is mentoring. Now, this is a good way to get players that maybe unambitious, low determination, fickle, those sorts of things, to improve their personality, is to get them in a mentoring group with players that are already sort of good professionals. So that's a good way to do it, is through here. Now, you can add players to a group if you want to here. Now, fairly much these guys are all pretty good. There's no need to get them into mentoring groups, but the way you can do it is just ask the assistant here to do it, and then they'll assign them based on here we go here. And now the other benefit to getting these the youngsters, the high potential players training with the first team, is that when you get to mentoring, they can then be mentored as well. So this is a good way. If you have the players that you can see here, we've got a youngster. He's not actually in the first team, which is why that looks a little bit different. He's in the under 21s or 18s or something, but his personality is fickle. Now, he is a promising young player, so he's worth sticking with. But we've got him in here with some ambitious players. Hopefully, he's going to lose his fickleness, but then still train on to be a very good player. You can see the other one here that we called in. Again, he's getting mentored by Reece James, and hopefully he too will sort of see the benefit of that. And Balance isn't a bad personality, but maybe he'll become something better, like professional or ambitious or something along those lines. Now, you can just ask the assistant here to do it, and then they'll sort of assign it the best way you can. Or if you can do it this way, just go and add a player, and you can, if you click on them and then add, and then we've got Chalabar in with all the strikers, which makes perfect sense, doesn't it? So maybe you'll just undo that. But yeah, so that's how you would mentor and use mentoring to improve players' personalities as well. Now, there is obviously individual player training. We'll probably do a separate tutorial on that at a later date. But yeah, this is it here. If you wanted to do it, you can train players into different positions. If they got the attributes to play somewhere different to where they're currently playing, you can use that there. You can also add player traits as well. And again, player traits sort of based off of their attributes, what they can do. So this looks like Thomas Lamar, is it? Who's highlighted here? Does it say Thomas Lamar? Yeah. So yeah, you can see there, gets in opposition area, shoots from distance, cut in from both wings. Now, you can also shoots from distance, given his long shots is 13, maybe not the best attribute for him. So you can also tell the coaches to, if we go to finishing training, and we can try and tell him to avoid the number, or restrict the number of long shots that he takes. So the coaching staff will give you their thoughts on it, so they don't think it's a good idea. So I guess we'll just go with that. But yeah, it can be worthwhile, looking into what sort of attributes you can add to your players, because it can make them better players, and it can make better use of, maybe if they're a limited player that's perhaps quick and can dribble, can make better use of those attributes as well. But like I say, it's probably a different tutorial, individual training, to this one. The last thing to do is coaches. Now, if you click here and then click to edit coaching assignments, it'll bring up all the coaches you have and what they're currently coaching. Now, I always think what you want to do is try and have no more than average workload down here, but then you want to try and have the highest average or the highest star rating, so they're getting the best coaching they can in that position as well. Now, if you sort of hover even over here, it'll bring up down the bottom, just next to me there, the coaching attributes and how well suited they are to that particular thing. So D'Astino here is very, very good at coaching tactical defending, but even if we were to go to technical defending, he's not as good, because his tactical coaching is better than his technical coaching. So therefore, we'd want him on the tactical side of things. Now, possession, mental is sort of the possession attribute, as opposed to attacking and defending is mental, and then tactical, obviously, there he's good at, whereas technical he wouldn't be as good at. as the other one. And of course, the other new thing for this FM is set pieces. So you want to try and get yourself the best set piece coach you can and set them up there for that. And we'll do a set pieces tutorial again. It's probably a separate one to this. So yeah, just try and make sure that you've got the way to do actually try and get the workload down is if you have 1 or 2 coaches perhaps that can just sort of be workhorses and just sort of go across everything to keep the workload down, and then have one guy that is coaching it, and then lots of helpers that sort of go across and just reduce the workload for them. So one guy running the session, then some teachers' assistants basically. And if you wanted to sort of change, I guess, or tinker with what responsibilities you have compared to the coaching staff, if you go to staff here, if you go to responsibilities, go down to training, and then you can decide what it is that you want to do and what it is that that you want the others to do. Now, leads individual training, that's a lot of work to do it by yourself, so it might be worthwhile just letting someone on your staff take care of it. I mean, to be honest, both things. Let someone on the staff take care of it, and then what you can do is go in and just tinker with stuff and change stuff. So if I go here back to training, and if we go to training calendar, and if we go to match, okay, so well, this works. So you can update things once, or you can take control of general training. So if I just say yes once, I've changed that one thing that I wanted to change. It doesn't have to be one thing. You could change the whole session, but just do it once, and then the coach will still take care of it, and you can go and change something else, just do it once, and so on and so forth. Similarly with individual training, we could go and tell Colwell, all right mate, you're going to suddenly, the other way to get to individual training is here, just go development and training. You're now going to be a central midfielder box to box. We're doing it just this once for the next month. Otherwise, we could take control of this individual's training permanently, or we could take control of all individual training. So that's that's how you can change the control as you go. Or, like I say, staff, responsibilities, training, and everything is there as well. Just depends how involved you want to be. If you want to be hands-on for everything, or if you just want to do like I do and just sort of tweak stuff here and there to make it how you want it. So hopefully you found that useful. If you have, make sure you hit thumbs up, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you, if not in the next tutorial, then hopefully in Croatia as we try and win the Champions League with not Dinamo Zagreb. Take care.